Ladies and gentlemen, gentlemen and ladies, ladies and gents, the TV series is called Ransom. This is episode number 2 of season number 3. This episode is called Black Dolphin. Black Dolphin is a video game. Well, not actually a video game. It's a game that individuals play through their cell phones, through chatting, or through email communication. And each time the individual called a player gets to move up a level. And at the very end of the game, they get to ask Black Dolphin a question which Black Dolphin is obligated to answer. But they have to pass the stages. There are 60 of them. And after they get their question answered, they must sacrifice themselves, kill themselves. Now, wait a minute. Hold on. Don't this sound familiar? This is Ransom. This is the 3rd episode. I thought I could play part of the episode that talks about it, but as you see, it's got me going in circles. Dun, 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 feeling fly high like a bird up in the sky. See, it's a computer algorithm. And so, basically, like Black Dolphin, there are other games out there that are targeting. Now, they say they're targeting kids. No, sorry. That's those conglomerate corporations and drug dealers and pharmaceutical companies. They target kids. Okay? This game is targeting exactly what they said in this show, Ransom. It's targeting weak-minded individuals. Now, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Ain't nobody talking about your mama, okay? Ain't nobody trying to offend you. But the computer algorithm, it is a computer algorithm, or AI. That's what a computer algorithm is. It targets individuals based on, we're going to talk about MOMO. MOMO? MOMO. Is that like Elmo? Is that Elmo's cousin? No, this is actually MOMO. You see, MOMO is the current game. The Black Dolphin series was created as a result of MOMO. Okay? Now, you'll see CBS talking about it a day ago, this person doing a video a day ago, this being 2 days ago, but this has been going on for a while, people. This didn't just start happening. Now, they're trying to make it a big deal now, but hold on. Ladies and gentlemen, the more people talk about it, guess what's going to happen? The more curious people are going to be. You know, curiosity done killed a whole lot, a gang load of cat. I mean, curiosity is a murderer. He's a cat slayer. Okay? Manslayer, cat slayer. That's right. Been taking all them cat naps, and now he's sitting up here trying to make up for some time. So curiosity, he don't like cats. Okay? That's why he kills them. And so all of these people are going to be curious, and they're going to want to play the game and try it out and see if they are smarter than the game. Hey, boo-boo, how's about a picnic basket? I'm smarter than the average bear. Okay? That's the lure of the game. That's the algorithm. People. I was going to say Mormons. Morons. Apologize, Mormons. I was going to say moron, but I said I didn't want to say moron because I didn't want to offend anybody, and I said Mormon, and it turns out I offended somebody. Uh-oh, Momo, come get me. Ladies and gentlemen, Momo started out as just some little stupid thing, and then kids started, communicating through each other, and they created a game. Then somebody took that game, somebody who has an IQ, just like in the movie, an IQ greater than that of most people. This wasn't created by someone stupid. This is created by someone who's very calculative. Psychopath? No. Don't know. Can't tell you. I don't know enough about the game because I don't care about the game. I'm not going to type into my computer, Momo game, telephone number for Momo game. I'm not going to do any of that. But some of you will. It's okay. It's okay because that's why they designed this. It's all about mind control, people, and what you allow to come into your mind and how weak you are to allow things to come your way. You see, I don't allow anything to come my way. If I don't want it, mm-mm-mm. That the Momo challenge and the Peppa Pig videos are very real. There are two videos out there, and he's doing a video challenge. Oh God! And Momo challenge explained and exposed. Uh-oh! Everybody's talking about Momo, Momo, Momo. Everybody's talking about Momo. Ladies and gentlemen, the only problem is there's one person. He actually, this gentleman right here, Mr. Flight Reacts, excuse me, Mr. Flight Reacts, he actually refers to an individual having to be stupid to fall for something like this. Now, mind you, I was doing the video first, and then I ended up having to redo it. But in the first video, I said, now, your children are not stupid. Yes, they are. No, they're not stupid. No, they can't be stupid. Yes, they are. No, your children are not stupid. Yes, they are. Why are the children stupid? Because their parents call them stupid. Their parents don't call them stupid. Man, them parents call them kids stupid all the time. I done seen them call them stupid, and I didn't even say they stupid. Stupid little mother. Okay, look, here is the problem. These type of individuals target the low self-esteem, the individuals who the parents and others are constantly beating down, the loners. See, I was different. I was a loner. And people would talk about me all the time, but have you not paid attention? I've always had confidence in who I am. I've always known. Now, I have something different than most people have. I've always known that I was smarter than the average bear. I always known I was smarter than the average person. I've always known that. Nobody had to tell me that. My family didn't have to tell me that. When they named me, they documented that. In school, even my own brothers and sisters called me Brainiac and Poindexter. Okay? My own brothers and sisters. It wasn't enough that the people at school was calling me that, and my brothers and sisters didn't tell them to call me that. So that put me in a different boat. You see, I'm the type of person that those agencies like to come and recruit. But I had to tell them no several times, especially the U.S. military. Why? Because I'm a 14 percenter. Now, many people don't know what a 14 percenter is. A 14 percenter is the segment of the population to which these type of tricks like Momo doesn't work on. No matter how hard you try. Reverse psychology doesn't work. You can't force a 14 percenter to do this or do that. Now, some people, I'm a 14 percenter because I know you can't force me to do. No, 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 no. You don't become a 14 percenter because you think you're a 14 percenter. A 14 percenter is the 14 percenter just because they are a 14 percenter. Okay? They don't have to convince people that they're a 14 percenter. They know who they are. I call them the 14 percenters because it is on average only 14% of the world's population cannot be coerced, cannot be forced to do anything, cannot be made to submit, cannot be made to subject. 14%. It's not my figure. It's what scientists have said. But I've always known all my life. That's why I tell people, look, sir, if you go, because I told this to the stupid officers, said, guys, I'm letting you know so that you understand. If you ask me to do something and if it's reasonable, I will do it. But if you order me to do something and I know for a fact I don't have to, it ain't getting done. I don't care what you say. You can threaten me, you can hurt me, you can put a gun to my head, and I'll look at you and I'll laugh at you. I said it has nothing to do with you. It is my personality. It is just the way it is. And I said, and some of you are going to think that you can challenge that and think that you can there is no way in the world you can outlast me. And it's not possible. It's not stubbornness. Everybody wants to see it as being stubborn. It is not a person being stubborn. It is just the facts. That's the fact, Jack. That's all it is. It's just the facts. All right. So, back to this story here. Children are getting hold of this little numbers and email addresses and they're communicating with it. The end of the game is you gotta damage yourself, you gotta harm yourself, then it's suicide. That's how the game ends. If you really want to see how the game is designed, now, in my opinion, the game is very, very ingenious, but it's very stupid at the same time because the individual who created the algorithm was a stupid moron. But you all don't understand about algorithms. Algorithms are AI. Algorithms, when they are programmed correctly, are designed to learn, to adapt. That's why you will hear, like this gentleman says in his video, give me a second, we're going to play it. We ain't going to play him, we're just going to play the second. Uh-oh, come on now, what you mean? Yeah, he's an idiot. He's an idiot. I must admit. I've listened to him only part of the video. I didn't get to the whole video. And you just have to continue doing it. Watch right here. This is what it says. It says, I can find you anywhere. The person says, I don't think so. You don't believe me, right? You're still in danger. Okay, that's what the game says. Now, why would somebody communicate back with a system like that? Because children are curious. That's why they're the most vulnerable. But the fact is, if you watch each one of these videos, each of these adults have tried the game. Every single one of them have tried the stupid game. Even this guy right here, now he'll call the kid stupid, but he was curious enough to try the game. And that's what the game works off of, is your curiosity. That's the same thing the government and these agencies and these corporations work off of, is your curiosity. They put a burger in front of you, and what do? Don't you go and want to get that burger? It's called commercialism. And this is what they're doing. It's a commercial. Commercials entice curiosity. It plays on that desire of selfishness, of wanting to satisfy a particular urge. Well, the kids will answer those questions and they will have a conversation. You know, children, they'll have a conversation with anybody. They'll have a conversation about anything, especially when someone is playing a joke or a trick. If someone contradicts a child, go up to a child, ask them how old they are. Okay? I do this with my nieces and nephews all the time. When I meet them, I ask them, wait, how old are you now? And they'll say something like 12. I say 14. Or they'll say something like 14. I'll say 6. What? And they'll say, no, I said 14. Oh, 10. Okay, well, you look older than 10. Okay, kids will have that conversation. Why? Because they don't want to be wrong and they don't want to be incorrect. Well, adults do the same thing. Those adults are going to sit up there and play that game because they want to prove that they ain't stupid. They want to prove they ain't dumb. They want to prove they got their GAD. Most of you who pay attention to my videos understand what a GAD is, a GAD. Okay? Everybody wants to prove something. Ladies and gentlemen, I decided long ago never to walk in anyone's shadow. I apologize. I decided a long time ago that I was not going to prove myself to anybody except myself. And you'll hear, well, you know, most people mimic people of color talking about, I ain't got to prove myself to nobody, and they'll make all kind of fun shaking their head and all of that stupid stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, you'll find it in the black culture. You won't find too many of them playing stupid games like that because it ain't the way it is. Now, they'll play the gang game, joining the gang and taking a dare and stupid things like that. Not all of them. Some of them would. But the fact is, they're not going to play this stupid game. Not as a majority. Because they don't think like that. They don't roll like that. So do yourself a favor. Don't go telling everybody about the game. Because that's not how reverse psychology works. See, the game itself is reverse psychology. Look, it's got everybody talking about it. Let me tell you what reverse psychology is. Let me tell you the most ingenious form of reverse psychology. All my life, I've been trying to figure out how to get out of the stupid system. How to stop the stupid system. Because the system was causing a lot of problems. See, I grew up in the era after the Vietnam War. My uncle came home from the Vietnam War. What he doesn't know is every single family member said that he had changed, that he wasn't the same person Every single family member, his brothers, his sisters, everybody said he changed. This was my uncle. I didn't know whether he changed or not. I was only 3 years old, but by the time we got to 1977, 1978, and right about 1979, he and his family came to move in with us because they were moving to California and they needed a place to stay until they could find a place of their own. So we had 8 of us in a 2-bedroom apartment. My uncle and his 3 children and his wife. Count them. That's 5. I said 8 of us. Whew, I'm sorry. It's not 8 at all. There's a cat in our backyard, and it's not a cat that I'm normally used to seeing. And I'm looking at him, and I saw something out there, and it ain't supposed to be out there, but I'm gonna leave the cat alone. Well, anyway, it was a total of 8 plus 5. So there was 13 of us. It was 8 of us on a regular basis before my uncle moved in. When they moved in, it was 13 of us in a 2-bedroom apartment. And nobody slept in the living room. Everybody slept in one of the 2 bedrooms. I had a sister, my eldest sister, she slept in the bathtub because that was her choice. But that's how we rolled. That's how we lived. But let's get back to this whole scenario situation of the growing up during the era when the Vietnam War had just ended. The situation was my uncle, when he came back, everybody and their grandfather said he had changed, that he was not the same person coming from that era, coming from that situation. What you all must recognize is when I saw how the system did that, I already knew that the Vietnam War was a joke. I knew it was a fake. How did I know? Because that's what everybody and their grandfather would be talking about. That's what all those older people who I got to sit and listen to would talk about. Okay? They all knew that that war was a joke. When you go and you look at the Gulf of Tonkin or whatever that junk was, and how they fabricated the whole thing, how Kennedy had said he was pulling out of the war and pulling the troops out of the war, and then they killed him, and then Lyndon Johnson goes ahead and sends the troops right back in, and then we have the videotapes and the not videotapes but the audio recordings of them planning this whole thing. But see, I knew this back then. Nobody had to tell it to me. Nobody had to come to me and tap me on my shoulder. And I could not, for the life of me, see myself wanting to be a part of a system, a country, an organization, a group that could do that to people. Well, so how do you get free from something like that? That's what I spent my life doing. And then I get a call from this young man named Demetrius who tells me about something they did while they were in prison, he and 2 other guys. Then he tells me about Bradley Christopher Stark, how he was the one who had the idea to do this certain thing and how he added an arbitration clause. Now, I understood arbitration, but I didn't understand arbitration. I knew what arbitration was. Like I told you, arbitration has been around for millennia. Kings would arbitrate to settle disputes between surrounding nations. Grandmothers and grandfathers and uncles and cousins, sisters and mothers would arbitrate with family members to keep them from fighting each other. Neighbors would step in and arbitrate for 2 neighbors that had a disagreement. The police job, the word police, was to signify an individual who would arbitrate to resolve small minor disputes. It was called policing. That was the original policing. It wasn't this, we're going to shoot you, we're going to take you to jail, we're going to arrest you. Okay? Pay attention. That's why in Britain, the peace officers did not carry guns until recently. They didn't carry guns. Why is that? Because their job wasn't about keeping the code. Their job was about keeping the peace. You can't keep the peace with a weapon. Do you understand? That's contrary to peace. So when you have the UN peacekeepers, it is the most oxyous of all oxys, considering what the morons, because only oxy and morons run together. So when they brought this to my attention, I started looking into it and doing my own research. But what I told myself, and I told them, I said it's going to take me a minute. I said, because I have to see this from the standpoint of where you guys were coming from, which means that I have to go at it and get everything that I had already thought I knew. I have to push all of that to the side. I have to get that junk out of my mind. And then I have to look at it from that standpoint. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as ingenious as it was, putting together an arbitration association, putting together arbitration contracts, hey, we could have did the arbitration contracts. We didn't have to put it up on video. We could have did the arbitration contracts and made a lot of money off of people. And we could have created a non-disclosure agreement, made each contract different by using certain words in certain spots after certain words to create an algorithm so that if it did get out, we would know exactly what contract was the one that the individuals copied from. See, we could have done something like that and made a killing off of that. But hold on, so that all of you get it. It ain't about the money. Because we affected a whole lot more by putting those contracts online for free, telling people about the arbitration, and telling them about Congress going out of their way trying to stop the arbitration process. We've affected a whole lot more by doing that than we ever could by trying to sit up here and be greedy. That's what we've done. Oh, and by the way, have you noticed that although Congress is trying to stop arbitration, they're trying to change it? The only way for Congress to change arbitration is to repeal the entire act. They're never going to do that. Why? Because the reason why they came up with the Arbitration Act in the first place is so they could control it. Because without the act, that means that the people would have their private right and Congress would have no say-so. And whatever the people arbitrated would be what's arbitrated, and there's nothing they'd be able to do about it. So no, they need the arbitration process the way it is. It's a wonderful world. And so they can't get rid of it, which means as long as the Arbitration Act exists, all you got to do is fall right in line with what the Supreme Court just said. And if they take away the Arbitration Act, all you got to do is keep doing arbitrations. Why? Because arbitration is a private right, not a commercial right. Well, why do Congress get to regulate it? Because anytime it involves commerce, it automatically invokes congressional authority. Look at Title IX, Section 1 of the United States Code. It specifically says that if it involves commerce, it says interstate too, yes, but it does say commerce by itself, but it says interstate commerce too, but hold on, it doesn't matter if it's inner, outer, or other state. As long as it involves commerce, the Constitution gives Congress the right to regulate commerce. That's why Congress has a say-so. Now remember, before Congress created that act, could people arbitrate? Of course they could. It was always recognized as a private right, but because commerce is involved, now Congress can regulate how it's done. We don't mind the regulations of Congress. We don't mind Congress and their regulations. What's wrong with y'all? If you guys want to run away from that, no, that regulation is there for your benefit because it protects you and it protects the other party and it keeps them from getting rid of your right to arbitrate. Why? Because if they get rid of your right to arbitrate, they get rid of the corporation's right to arbitrate. Equal protection of law. So those of you, we told you that you had to get on board, little children, get on board, little children, get on. Anyway, we told you had to take care of your arbitration now and not wait. Why? Because if you waited, then you might not be grandfathered in. Everybody who's taking care of their arbitrations and got their defaults, because eventually there is one way around the contract. I can't tell people about it. I'm begging people to go and find out the way around the contract. But once they find out, it doesn't kill the current contract. It doesn't kill my contract or anybody else's contract that's been done. But remember, before we got started, the first thing I did was I took care of my contract. Oh, and by the way, there are going to be people who are going to challenge your contract. But remember, the Supreme Court says all it needs to do is have an arbitration clause. Doesn't matter if it's a criminal case, doesn't matter if it's a civil case, doesn't matter if it's an administrative case, doesn't matter. As long as there's an arbitration clause and a contract associated with it and the parties have agreed, there you go. Hey guys, you remember that Columbia space shuttle that went up and just exploded? Yeah, taking with it the very first black astronaut. I'm sorry, I'm not laughing because he's the very first black astronaut. I'm laughing because in all movies, the very first person to die is a black person. Okay? And I believe, what year was that? 1984, 1982, whatever year that was in the 80s, where they had all the little children sitting up there looking at the television screen at school, and they got to see that Hollywood stunt, that big, huge explosion in the sky. See all those pieces and parts flying all over the place? Yeah, that's the Space Shuttle Columbia. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this video was to start off talking to you about that MOMO stupidity. But as I said toward the end here, the only credit I give myself is creating this algorithm of individuals doing their own arbitrations, of putting together the document, the equitable redemption document. Oh, and the assignment, there'll be a new assignment of interest document up. It will be an amendment of the one that's currently up to cover more bases. So I would take a look at that one because it's formulated a little bit better. The site should be up within the next day. We're working on it now, talking to supervisors, trying to figure out what the glitch is. But if not, we'll just have them repopulate it, re-upload it so that everything works just fine. So we're working on that now. Ladies and gentlemen, this document was the most ingenious out of all documents because this is how you take care of your student loans. It's how you take care of those bills from the bank and your car loans and your house notes. This document right here, it's called the Equitable Redemption Tender of Payment Offering. As a matter of fact, I'm going to finish up the new, what is that stupid document called? It's not a stupid document. The document is called the assignment, the sample assignment of interest document. So the sample assignment of interest document will be up on the net today because it'll be at saa.com. That website's PDF files are there. So both documents will be there eventually to be up on SATCOM. So if you want to get the documents that deal specifically with the, it's not a redemption process, but it's arbitration and the public law. If you want to deal with those documents, public law, private law, arbitration files, then you will go to SAA, go to their documents folder, and you'll be able to pull those documents up along with this document. It'll be up shortly. Thank you for taking the time to listen. Under 29 minutes. Hey, everybody, I know we talked about several things, but hopefully you won't be the curious and you won't be the cat and you won't be that individual who sits up there and helps people spread this junk, okay? Focus on you. Pay attention to what you know and don't let nobody else convince you of anything. Make them prove it to you. But once something is proven to you, stop being stupid and stubborn and start going with the facts. Stop going with the fantasies. Have a good day, everyone. Have a good afternoon. And thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.